That's grooving, man. That's a great,
I was
great
gonna say-
intro track.
I was going to say, put that back on. That was
Yeah,
hot.
that was a jam.
I like that.
I actually made that.
That is
Really?
awesome.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I use Mixcraft.
Oh, nice. I use
Yeah.
Cubase and stuff. That's really cool. Yeah, great job. Sounded really good.
You guys can see it, right?
Hmm?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
The intro?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. It's kind of blocked here for me. I can't see it. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Welcome to the Paranormal Gateway Paratalk. My name is Scott Wise, and joining us is our host, Bill McIntosh.
Our very special guests tonight are Derrick, Daniel, and Jack from Iron City Paranormal. Derrick and Daniel began their journey to the other side officially in 2017, but their interest in the paranormal extends back to their childhoods. As adults, they have focused themselves towards providing evidence of life after death. Their intentions are pure and they do not provoke spirits or attempt to communicate through the occult. It is their mission to be the voice for those who have lost their ability to speak for themselves. Without further ado, let's welcome Iron City Paranormal to the show.
Yay! Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That
guys.
was expertly read. It was almost like we would come right out of our mouths. So that
I still hear if I replace we with there or there.
no, that's perfect. Thank you for that.
No problem. So, when do you guys start your group?
Officially, what was it, 2017, Dan? I know Dan usually likes to tell the story, but it actually started as my my bachelor party. That's really how everything kind of got kicked off for what we're doing.
This is how you know that we're strange guys. Like a lot of guys want to go to bars and get drunk or go to strip clubs or whatever for their bachelor parties. Derrick didn't want to do any of that, so I was tasked with finding something to do that would keep everybody interested for the night. So we found a place local to us and did an investigation without. It was all using rented equipment. We used the people that ran the event. We used their equipment, and Derrick and I went with about 8 other people. You can tell that the 2 of us are still doing it. So
that number quickly dwindled.
the 8 other people were, it wasn't their game. And more recently, within the last year, Jack reached out to us online and said that he was looking for somebody, a group to get involved with. We wanted to make sure that Jack wasn't just a weird guy. So
what happened?
Specify weird guy though. I mean,
I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know if I passed that test or if they failed it,
weird, so
No, you passed. So we've slept in hotel rooms with you, so you
do this like we do about ghost hunt and stuff. You gotta be a little weird or what, you know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, we're comparing that to the barometer of weird that we've already set for ourselves, right? So Jack's been with us about 6 or 8 months now, and we are having a lot of fun together.
So yeah, we kind of threw him to the fire. So
that's great. That's exactly how I wanted it.
Don't start Derrick by saying like when you first your brother started doing, but back as long ago when you're younger, so when you got interested in paranormal, correct?
Yeah, I mean that dated all the way back to childhood, really. I mean, it wasn't until the bachelor party that this kind of started to come together as like as a group or as a team. But yeah, before that, I mean, I was always kind of drawn to anything paranormal. Could be anything, ghosts, cryptids, aliens, whatever. But I think the one thing that really kind of spurred that for me is the woods behind my house. I had always seen like an Indian figure, like a Native American back there. And it wasn't until I went back there with my neighbor that she was like, I see it too. You're not crazy, and it kind of took off from there. And I know Dan's had experiences whenever he was younger. And that's kind of one of the things that made us friends when we were young. Well, 6th grade, probably earlier than that, honestly.
Yeah, it was way before that, and I just thought it was because I was good looking. I thought that's why we were buddies. So I'm glad that it was the ghost that brought us together.
That's why you stuck around, because you were good looking. I mean, that's
true.
That's why he kept you. That's what he said.
That's absolutely true.
Ghosts will not love me.
Yeah.
I have this one shirt that says "Run like you're being chased by ghosts." I usually wear that, but I can't buy it. You gotta throw good at Hinsdale. You gotta get that up there sometime. Hinsdale.
Nice.
Yeah,
we haven't been there yet. It's
awesome.
Yeah, it's on our list. Yeah, it's on our list of places to go. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a drive for us. It's even further for you guys. So we try to keep it to one a year that's pretty far away, just because it's not cheap to drive 6 hours.
Right. But I think the first time I went, well, not really, but I lived in New York, PA, up until like 7 years ago. I didn't move out to Ohio. So I've been out here since. But,
Gotcha.
yeah, so I was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes out in Gettysburg. So it's not too bad trip for you guys. Yeah, what, about 2.5 hours, 3 hours?
To Gettysburg? We're
probably
closer to 4 hours to Gettysburg.
Yeah, I think it's about 4.
My friend, hometown is Pittsburgh, my best friend. And he's from Kittanning.
Okay.
I don't think it was but I think he says close to a 4-hour trip for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sounds about right
outside Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So
Jack, did you have anything, or you just got interested in paranormal? Do you have any experiences or anything?
So I kind of have a similar story to Derrick, where I always found that stuff fascinating, just even in like media as a kid, the idea of like helping people who potentially can't help where they're at or where they're stuck. Like, I don't know, that idea really appeals to me. Since then, I've had definitely a good bit of paranormal experiences, a lot of strange dream occurrences that have showed up differently in different ways later on. But mostly just same as Derrick, just really just wanting anything outside of what we would consider normal, just wanting to get on the ground floor of that, really.
That's the way I was, because I don't have any experience, but I really started getting into it back when Ghost Hunters first came out. I'm feeling my age now. But I started at, I think back in 1996, 98, I think.
Okay.
I'm showing my age now. But my group I had together we were together 12 years. So we got to do a lot of places. We got to both places in New York, New Jersey, Maryland,
That's a pretty good run.
Ohio, but we did a jail. I was prison and jail. We did a school. We did a church. The church was awesome. That's not the church was built in 1818.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
geez.
It had a cemetery that had the siblings or family of one of the Titanic survivors, but it was
Wow.
I can't remember his name anymore.
That's
But
amazing.
that church was awesome. We got all this stuff out of there too. We got the shadow going by the camera out of the graveyard. Got a lot of good reviews. In fact, the first time I went there is with the first group I was with. And it's the first EP I got, and I saw it, and I'm going to do it now because it was the best EP I had probably for the whole time. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, yeah, we're trying to get around more. That's it. We're shooting some work September, hopefully. Oh, we went to get the prospect place. Now you guys had talked about. You guys went there, right?
Yeah,
I
we've
got-
been there.
Yeah.
We've been there once. We're actually planning on going back. We have a date set for that too.
Hmm.
How many people went to the quiz? So 3?
Yeah. I think
You guys
just 3 of us.
You guys would collab together?
Oh yeah, we all work together. Like
No,
when we,
you guys would go together sometimes. I know we would go and.
Oh yeah, we would have. We're always looking for other groups to join in with us.
Yeah. We'd love to
Absolutely.
do that because yeah, it'd be awesome to get together in that group.
Yeah, and like
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, we're out in Ohio a lot because the area where we're at around Pittsburgh, a lot of places get torn down whenever they, are abandoned and old. They're just not making enough money,
Or they just shy away from
or
this
they
side.
shy away from it. Yeah, very good point.
Well, next time we come out, let me know because I won't have any problem. Last minute notice, be able to get that fire hall.
that'd be
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool.
Oh, awesome.
So let me know
Yeah.
when guys coming out, and we can do it's a Saturday night and you start at 9:00. Because
That'd be great. And we
they have bingo, so we get that over till 9.
Well, we love to do places that don't necessarily have a documented history with paranormal activity, just because we don't like to be like, if obviously we want to know if there's something going on there to begin with, because we don't want to waste our time, but we prefer to do places like private residences or places that are a little bit more off of the beaten path as far as locations, just because if we can be part of telling the story of that location, like that's where we find the most interest in what we do.
And
it's
I think personally speaking too, and I know that I kind of speak for the group when I say we get the most out of it in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it comes back to, what I would consider to be our mission statement, so to speak, is like we want to be the voice for those that have lost the ability to speak for themselves. And when there's locations like jails or, penitentiaries or sanitariums or, locations that are well known for paranormal activity, it's very easy to focus in, especially because you have a limited period of time that you have these places. You're really hitting the highlights as far as what locations you're investigating within that location. So you're going to go to where there's the most activity, but there's other spirits there that lay low that also have some things that they want to say, and we just don't have time to get to them. Right.
Yeah, there's lots of stories to tell outside of the norm and the, what makes a TV show, and I think that's what we're drawn to the most.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you guys do residential or anyone that you do, how do you prepare yourself mentally or emotionally when you go to do these? Like, it's emotional. It's not emotional. You guys do residences. The people are hurt. They need somebody out there right away, and and sometimes it's just something to debunk, but a lot of times, like when kids are involved,
Mm-hmm.
it's really bad. I know when we first started, we got tons of residential cases. But how do you guys prepare for that?
Oh, I think we all have like a system, and we've kind of agreed upon like a kind of like a prayer that we'll do before we start, and then like after we end. And I think we all have our own like personal pieces of protection that we like find faith and value in, that we trust. Like I have my necklace and a couple other pieces. I know I bring a selenite crystal with me every time I go, just because, mentally, I just kind of prepare myself in the sense that, I'm open, but not free real estate, so to speak, because you never know what you're getting into.
Right.
So I try to like reinforce my boundaries to myself, before we go in or before I get there. So I think a lot of it is setting the intention. I think in my experience, I mean, it's only been about not even a full year yet, but intention seems to be the big thing. If you believe something is powerful to you, it's going to work for you, let's say.
Right. Well, think also on that, can you give example of a case you investigate that was challenging or difficult?
Difficult. I think you guys
Like,
might be better to take that one. I haven't had. You know what? I would. The afterlife was difficult for me for whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've had places, like we've had residents, residential locations that have asked us to come in and at least put a story behind the things that they've experienced. We've not been specifically called to a case that had children involved. So I know that would bring in a whole new level of complexity to things.
It does.
And it's something that I don't want to say I would love to do it, because I don't want children to have to go through those kinds of things. But if we had the opportunity to do a case like that, we would be very interested in doing it. The only problem is we are investigators before we are cleansers.
Right.
So, we do not have the know-how and the weaponry, so to speak, to go into a location and rid them of whatever's there.
Right.
We want to speak with things. We want to find out why they're there, because I think a lot of times, ghosts are scary. Let's be honest. Like, it's something that's there that you can't see, you can't interact with, without certain equipment and all this other stuff. It's very frightening for a lot of people that have, when I was a kid, I lived in a house that we believe was paranormally active, and it was frightening to me, and luckily it never got physical or anything else. So we were never in harm's way with anything. But if there was a case that was somebody in harm's way, like I said, I don't feel that we're equipped for that kind of stuff. And I would hate to present ourselves like we are equipped for that, because those families would be looking for support, that I just don't think that we could personally offer that, but we know people that can. So if it was the right case, we could get some other people wrapped into it that could help us, So that's where we have to draw a line, and we have to be very honest with ourselves and with the people that would reach out to us. Is we don't pretend to be something that we're not. We have successfully cleansed an apartment through saging after an investigation, but I'm going to tell you that was blind luck. We had no experience with it. We told the resident ahead of time, like, we do not do this. It is going to be experimental. We will give it a shot. And like Jack said, like, take the intentions that I lay out and put the best of intentions into the air and see what happens. And I think there's a lot to that. What you go in with, if you go in like Zach Baggins and rip your shirt off and scream about your tattoos, then you're going to get something pissed off at you.
I take my shirt off, the ghost there and run.
Yeah, I mean,
But some big old beer brother, like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Get the big beer out of here.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
like I
Yeah,
said, there's a danger to pretending like
Yeah.
we're more than what we are. You
Well,
know, we don't want to do that.
we had a case in Maryland a long time ago. And they had a spirit little girl that they could hear talking and stuff, and they pick her up, move stuff around, just goof around and stuff. And the sounds that she was sad, the way she was acting, like, kept like crying and stuff, like because they hurt. And so we did. They suggested if we could try to do a sage thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got the videotape of my other guys doing the saging stuff, and I always go back over the video of this too. A lot of times you pick up EVPs on the video camera footage when you're listening to it.
Yeah.
And we picked up a little girl saying, "I think I'm crossing over, mother."
Wow.
And I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, that's not even just like a 1-word, 2-word thing. That's a whole ass statement relevant to what's happening.
I'll send it to you guys after the show.
Yeah, that would be
That
great.
would be awesome.
incredible.
What did you capture that on? Was it an EVP or was it on equipment? Like
It was EP picked up on video camera because we were here at the time. But I think it was there.
Wow.
So yeah, it was. I call one Bill. I call. I'm like, what in the face? Oh my god!
Wow.
So we don't.
Super excited about that too.
We don't ever do it. That's to wait. Most part, we're told by the we don't do it really, but they after it was left you down there a couple weeks, and after that, everything seemed calm. But there are keys that that you do that are just like heartfelt. We do something good, you feel out better, and you go out of these places a lot of times come out exhausted, but once you hear that, it's like, oh, that's cool, So it makes everything that better when you know that you help somebody.
For sure.
Even though it's not something you really do all the time. So.
Yeah, well, and it's the same intention, right? Because the point is to help, right? And I think it's just a more responsible decision to say, hey, I only have X amount of knowledge. I'm not going to try to like gaslight you and thinking that I'm going to save you from this because I'm just part of the solution. I'm not the whole solution. That way people can be more, I guess, armed for what they're asking for. Because I think a lot of people think that you call a paranormal investigation group and they're going to solve the whole problem. And some groups do that, and that's great if they know how. But being honest and upfront with people, I mean, this kind of environment, especially in this, I don't know, like realm of investigation and study, trust is a huge issue. Just in like in all forms, whether it's evidence or whether it's claims of experiences, it all comes down to the trustworthiness of the individual. So that's a big point of focus for us.
Right.
We want to be as genuine, as real as possible, and as upfront as possible because I don't know, we wouldn't drive halfway across the country just to blow smoke up everybody's ass about something that, it just seems a little silly when you try to break it down. But I digress.
There's some of us the case that we did, like, I think I told the story that I speak about there again. I used to work for a graphic arts company back in like mid-80s, and we got to be good friends with everybody there, and I could do that this girl was good, and her and a couple of her friends around, her best friend and me and a couple of my friends we got to bars every once in a while. And I came to work one day and this girl was crying. She goes, happened to so-and-so, I like her same name, but and I said, no, her husband murdered her on the kitchen floor of her house. I'm like, what? And then fast forward, like 3 years later, I'm in this ghost hunting group, and we're at this house that has a lot of activity and stuff, and we're sitting down doing the prelim interview with them, and I'm like, okay, what do you tell us about the house? It was, well, a few years back, some guy murdered his wife in the kitchen. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
We're at the house that happened. I was like, oh my God. I said, what's her name? So like, how do you know that?
Wow.
Yeah. And her asshole husband got 7 years.
Huh.
Yeah. That was the worst. After we got some activity out of there too. But, I mean, those kind of places too, you gotta,
It's amazing to me how many places are truly active, and it's not necessarily just the places that are advertised as being paranormally active. It's residential, it's everything, and like I've had people like friends and colleagues that have come up to me during work and like asked about our paranormal group and everything else because it's my background at work, and it's everything. But there's a lot of people that say they don't want to go on an investigation because they're afraid that if they experience something, they'll start to pay attention to other things in life and scare themselves because of it. So I think that spirits are constantly trying to reach out to the living, or other dimensions, or whatever the theory is on spirits. I think that they're constantly trying to communicate with us in some way, shape, or form. And it's unique getting, that's why we immediately hooked up with Jack whenever he reached out to us, was he shared the passion of wanting to find out what was going on. Like, we were trying to explain something that other people could not explain, and people have tried. So I think that there's a lot to be said for anywhere is active, but I digress. I think we could have a whole story, or we could have a whole session.
Yeah, that's right. But if you want to start, before I do the presentation, you want to talk about, because I know a lot of the equipment you use is going to be in this. You want to tell us some equipment you guys use before I start your show?
Sure.
We use a little bit of everything. I mean, I think we have built up quite a collection, spent more money than our wives would like to know about, but luckily they don't pay that close attention. But
I think they do, and it's just they don't want to fight a losing battle.
But no, it's everything from simple recorders and cameras, which that's kind of what we rely the most on, to things like I know I really like using the thermal imaging. That's usually one of my go-tos. It allows you to kind of put your eyes on something you truly cannot see.
And I think a lot of our footage that is good that we've captured and used is that, like, a lot of thermal, because thermal is just, you can see in the dark. I mean, that's what you need for this.
Yeah, I mean, and to top that, the SLS camera that maps figures.
Oh yeah,
like, it's the same thing, right? It gives you that sixth sense. You can feel that something's there, but you can't see it, not really. So those are the kind of pieces of equipment that I like to use the most in reviewing evidence, that I like to be able to pair things up, break down recordings, and see what matches. If there's a figure there, if something's going on. We've seen actions in those cameras before, as you'll see. And I think those are probably my favorite pieces of equipment, personally speaking.
Yeah, so we literally throw everything at it when we go. So as you guys are familiar, a lot of everything is based on energy differences. So we have K2 meters, the just run of the mill kind of things. K2 meters, mini mag lights,
REM pods.
We have the REM pods. We have a newer device that we had just gotten and just used the first time on the last investigation, was a shadow tracker. We just employed that has multiple sets of motion sensors on it that light up lights based on which motion sensor is seeing movement. So it can actually track a shadow moving across the face of the object or the device. Like Derrick said, the SLS camera, just regular infrared cameras. Unfortunately, when we go a lot of places, when we get too high tech with our equipment, I think that we kind of age the spirits out of what it is and how to interact with it. It's if we walk into a place with an Xbox 360 camera strapped to a laptop, and you're talking to somebody that lived in the early 1900s, whenever they were pushing down the road for fun, they don't know how to interact with those things. They don't know what it is, and quite honestly, I would be afraid of it if I were them.
Yeah.
So we typically start much lower down the food chain as far as our equipment is concerned until we get a baseline for is something here trying to interact with us. And then we'll take it to the higher level. Then we'll throw our Phasma box at it. Then we'll throw our Spirit box at it. Then we'll throw our Ovilus at it just to see what level of communication we can get. So I know that Derrick has shared quite a bit of evidence with you from multiple locations. So I'm sure you'll see pretty much everything we use there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, we start aside, so I don't know, it's not any particular order, so you guys have to. I may have the slides that you said were the same location together, I think, but
No worries.
Here's the first one. The Twin City Opera House. I want to go there. I'm looking to go in there.
Yeah, that place is definitely worth a visit. So this picture is actually one of my favorite captures that we've gotten with our SLS camera. We were in the basement and the sub-basement level of the Opera House, and throughout the Opera House there is there are two young girls spirits that are said to inhabit the Opera House itself. I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but we were getting in the sub-basement level, we were getting a lot of flashlight activity, and we were getting spirit box responses that sounded very childlike. So we really thought that we were communicating with this little girl that is seen and heard throughout the location. So I was playing games with her, and we had mini mag lights set up across multiple places across the basement. And I said, if this is such and such, can you turn the light on next to me? And the light came on next to me. And I spoke to the spirit like a little girl, like a child. And I said, great job, but now I want to play a game with you. Can you run really, really fast and go over by that chair? And we had another mag light set up by a rocking chair about 30 feet away. And I said, can you run really fast and go over there and turn that light on for me when I say go? I said, ready? I said, go. And then all of a sudden, that other light, after a second or two, the other light on the other side of the basement turned on. So I said, fantastic job. And so this was after that interaction, after we established the fact that we were speaking to the little girl. This giant yellow blob of a human is me. And my two hands are out in front of me because I'm actually using a pendulum to communicate with the little girl. We were getting very strong responses on the pendulum. And while the pendulum was swinging, Derrick captured this stick figure. It looks like a little child crouching down next to me, reaching towards the pendulum and actually pushing it to respond.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And that's not the...
Wow.
That's actually, and I'm glad I saw that, because that's the second piece of SLS evidence that we've gotten in conjunction to a pendulum like responses. Because in that video I sent there, I have a section where we caught somebody sitting in a chair, was mapping them fine the whole time, and then it stopped mapping them to map something next to them that was directly like reaching to the pendulum. Just like that.
Oh, something shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like me. Anytime somebody has a ball of tinfoil that they roll.
Yep. Yeah. I gotta rush through the shiny section at the hobby stores when I go with Rachel, because all the shiny fake gems just grab my eye.
Honestly.
Well, and honestly, Dan was the one that was interacting, but that was probably one of my favorite moments because we went into this expecting something dark, malevolent in the basement.
It's very
And
true. Good call. I forgot about that, but
based on the communications, based on these things that we caught and captured, we were kind of able to figure out like that's not the case down here. You know, this little girl's actually down here. Whether she stays down here all the time or not is far from seen. But it was nice to be able to kind of put a different story to the area than is typically told.
Yeah, and we did that at Carnegie too with Franklin in the basement.
Absolutely,
because everyone thought he just didn't want to be around people at all, but all he wanted was to be talked to with some respect first, and then he opened up. And I tried to get that footage today, but I couldn't get it off my phone; it wouldn't upload. But we'll have it. I'm gonna get it off there somehow. So
I hope we get there. I think I mapped it. I think it might be 2 hours away from me, but I mean it's not a far drive. So
hey, 2 hours anymore for places that
That's nothing.
we did 8, 10, 12 hour drives every day. I was talking to you.
Yeah, and that stuff's for the birds. I'll tell you what, and especially when you get there and it happens.
His deal is worth it though. You guys gotta go there. You try to get. I know like all these places are expensive and stuff, but we had like 7 of us now in our group, right? And we split it up like that, and plus we did a whole weekend. That it gives kind of a deal for the whole weekend.
Nice.
And also he has cameras in every room and all the bedrooms and stuff. And I do can have them record all the cameras for you. He'll put a site just for you guys to download.
That's nice.
That's really cool.
I got all the footage on my 8 terabyte hard drive there.
Nice.
Yeah, I got all my medical stuff backed up.
Is Hinsdale House paying you? Because you keep bringing them up, and I think you're like really selling that place. They must be giving you some money on the side.
No, Dan, I love Dan. He's a nice guy, and
Dan's a good name.
I'll get to meet him at the Paratalk Investigators in May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a good guy, but I slept in upstairs one night, and then I promised getting around. I actually use a roller to get around now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cause I have a text. Yeah, but so I did downstairs in Mike's bedroom, and I had a little visitor that night. Yeah, someone crawled over to me while I slept. Really?
I mean,
well, guess what?
A raccoon.
A rat.
I'd rather a rat than a bat.
Yes. So, we had bats too. But the guys at post houses are bats. You get bats.
We were told.
Yeah,
we were told about the bats. We did not see any bats.
They're down in the lunchroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did not. We had something happen in the basement, in the lunchroom that one of the people from Pottstown said that Posttown said that it could have been a bat, but we never saw any while we were there, which is very unfortunate because Derrick screams like a girl when he sees a bat. And I love it. I love whenever Derrick sees a bat because he freaks out.
Yeah, we had a lot of bats in the prison. We went to the bat, and my friend was downstairs, and the bat was bouncing off his back. It was just flying. And it got a couple between the one building is like a hallway. It connects to prison. The stairs going down. I was sitting on the stairs, and the bat is flying towards me. I went, took a picture of that, fell back. I got a picture of Stan bat in his eyes.
Oh shit! Nice catch though.
I'll send you that picture. Oh god.
Yeah, nice catch. That's cool.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, cause he had buzzed my head all night. I'm like, well, Mel was sitting down at lunchroom. We were getting buzzed. at Post Town. He's going to have to bill a lot. But yeah. Or like I said, I think we're going to talk about September. Some of the group was there sitting going along with us. So I don't know. They get hold of them. They're going to do the Gill House or somewhere else. They ain't decided yet. So. Fun. All kinds of creatures. But yeah, I like to see this video too. All right, the Indian headroom. Where's this from?
So this is the Wexford Antique Shop.
Yeah.
We didn't have a name for the room. It was a back area room. It's an antique shop where they have a bunch of dealers come in, and we just kind of started naming rooms so we knew where we were.
Yeah.
But here we actually had some very odd things happen. I believe it was prior to this, there was a coin thrown at us. Am I right there, Dan? Did that happen first?
Started throwing dollar bills. What's that?
I wish.
So Derek, I think the coin came in after this,
That was
but
after, okay.
it was the same time period though, because we were in that room for a while after the stuff we were getting.
Yeah, and we started hearing knocks and footsteps, and I know our REM pod started going off. Like it was just somebody was curious, and we just started taking the SLS, and there was this person that was just mapped standing there, and then they would move. Like you could actually physically see them move from side to side as if they were pacing, and then they would pause. And it almost looks like they're standing there with their legs crossed, their hand on their chin, like just seeing what's going on.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was a cool investigation because the owners had asked us to come in because they're very respectful of the paranormal, and they have such a turnover of dealers that are bringing items into their shop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and their shop is the original general store of Wexford. Like they have, they have pictures in the front of the shop of that building whenever there was, dirt roads and horse-drawn buggies going in front and everything else. So it was the original general store, and the building has a very storied past, but then all of the stuff in it also has, potential to be carrying and harboring spirits with it. So this was a really unique investigation because when we interacted with things, we were trying to actively have them tell us if there was something communicating with us, what they were tied to. Are you tied to the building or are you tied to something in the room? And so that was a really cool interaction we had where they actually were like telling this, whatever this was, it was speaking with us, was making reference to waves and to water. And in that room, there were a couple pictures of boats. Like there was one of like an old like wooden ship, and then there was one of like crashing waves. And we were asking them specifically, like, are you here with this picture? And they would light up our REM pod, or our K2 meter rather, whenever we got near the one with the ship. Like we believe that whatever this was actually came from that picture, came along with that picture, not from the place. It was just really neat to try to, figure out where it was going.
I would love to antique shop. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many memories in those items and stuff. And
it ties so much together. I mean, like Dan was saying with the building, you don't know whatever the past of the building with the land, and then you tie it to all these different pieces of artifacts, antiques, whatever you want to call them. They all meant something at some point in their lives to somebody. So who knows what that energy is tied to?
Right.
And I think we interacted with some spirits that were tied to the building that honest to God, I think we scared the crap out of, because we were in the basement and we started to have things and it's all just storage. And it's not even like items for sale. It was like chairs and tables and Christmas decorations that they put up in the winter and all that kind of crap. But these spirits, we would put our equipment in one specific corner, and the medium that was with us was telling us that whatever or whoever was in this basement was actually hiding in that corner because they were just afraid of us, which is quite a mind melt to think that ghosts are afraid of you, because it's quite the opposite usually. But I just thought that was a really cool experience. That whole investigation was unique as heck.
Yes, I'd like to do antique shop sometime.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny. You can go, like, they reached out to us,
That's even cool, yeah.
but I think there's a lot of people that want to. I mean, it's obviously taboo to talk about ghosts and everything else. So I think that, like, if you start asking places, like Derrick is very good about reaching out to locations and saying, "Hey, you have a cool something. Can we come investigate it?" And 9 times out of 10, they're all for it. So you should ask around, at least to like local antique shops. I
Yeah.
guarantee you somebody would want you to come in.
Oh, let's check her out.
Yeah, I always figure the worst they can say is no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So I wasn't sure like the location this was. Is this named by a second floor figure?
So this is Hillview Manor. And this was from the
Damn
last
you.
time.
I want to
What's
go
that?
there. I want to go there so bad.
Oh, yeah. How many times have we been there? 4? 3, 4?
I think it's been 3 or 4 now. Yeah.
But this was actually,
That's a PA, right?
Yeah, that's like 45 minutes from where we live. It's
Yeah,
not far.
yeah.
If you guys are ever want to come up, we would absolutely go with you because it's right in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, usually every July I go in New York for vacation, but this year I'm going to get for Battle Bash while I'm there. So, continue.
Yeah. So Derrick captured this one. You go ahead, Derrick. You can talk about this one because you know this.
So
story.
this investigation was one. It was a cool full circle kind of one. This is actually the location that my bachelor party took place at. However, this last time that we went, we hosted a bachelorette party. As strange as that might be, it was a lot of fun. The girls, I think, all experienced something pretty crazy. They all left with stories, but this occurred when we were all walking up to the 3rd floor. One of the girls that were with us, they're like, I feel something over here. Something's following us. Let's just walk. And I'm the person to ask. I'm going to go into any dark room. You say something's in there. All right, I'm in. But so I just started snapping pictures. I had no idea. I didn't see this at the time, but as we were reviewing, this was the area that she's like, it seems like something's afraid of us now. We've kind of tracked it down and now it's just hiding. And if you look in the back corner there, and it's all red because they have these red exit signs all over the place. So that's why you're seeing a little bit of a red hue on this one. But in that back corner, it looks like there's a full-figured shadow standing there, almost cowering in the corner, waiting for us to leave, essentially.
Yeah.
So at Hillview, there's a lot of shadow figure activity. Old patients, all the way back to when it was a poor farm, peeking in and out of the rooms. We had a full-bodied apparition or a full-bodied shadow figure at the very least that myself and everybody in the bachelorette party saw.
That's me.
Derrick was in one of the rooms, so he was the only person that didn't see it. And there was a full-body shadow figure that walked from one side of the hallway over, and it looked like I would have sworn that it was a person. It looked like an older lady or an older individual that walked from one side of the hallway to the center of the hallway. It stopped and turned to look down the hall at all of us sitting in the hallway, and it didn't say anything. It didn't do anything. It just put its head back up and it turned and it walked through the wall on the other side. Like it was the most clear shadow figure I've ever seen.
And that wall on the other side was a chained and locked door.
Yeah.
Wow.
You guys need to make it up here. If you get a chance to do it, you definitely need to check out Hillview. It's a great location.
Yeah, I definitely have to because I got my July plan for this time, but sometimes we go back in September. So
Okay.
we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, whenever you get a chance, I highly recommend it. It has the Iron City Paranormal stamp of approval.
There you go.
This is actually taken the same night.
Oh yeah, okay. Wow, I did good.
And I don't know if you can zoom into this one or not, but that top window there, actually, I think Dan and I were trying to digest this entire thing one time, and you can almost see something in every one of these pictures, every one of the windows.
Is that one there?
That would be
the one.
Okay, that's is the one.
Yeah, so if you look close into every one of those windows,
it's that second
the
one.
one on that upper left.
Version.
I can see that. Where?
See something in that upper left one.
Here it is. Oh, Matt Bell's going to get it. But the top right window, I see something.
Yeah, that's exact. That next picture is the zoomed in of that.
The zoomed in one. Yeah,
right.
there it is. Now, where is this?
This was Hillview Manor. This was on the outside, third floor.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll be out there. I'm jealous.
That's another one of those ones where we didn't even see it until our review. But that's kind of the beauty of this.
Is this a residential case? This one here?
So this is a bed and breakfast. I don't know how much we want to talk about it because the owners kind of shied away from it.
That's all right. You have to say it out.
Well, I mean, it was bed and breakfast in Gettysburg. We'll leave it at that.
Yep.
And we had taken a few guests, and one of the girls that was there just was circling the outside of the house, taking some pictures. And it's a little bit difficult to tell in this one. But if you go in pretty close on that one, you can actually see a figure in that room. And that room's the kitchen, dining room kitchen area. And there was absolutely nothing in that window aside from the stuff at the bottom. You can pinpoint on the inside what's there.
Sorry. I started doing all right. I don't know if I have that over here or not. Oh, you got to.
It's no problem. All of our content pictures that we take, even if there's nothing in them, all of our recordings, all of our video, they're all on our website, ironcityparanormal.org.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you guys ever have a chance to peruse the interwebs, highly suggest you stop by because we post everything because we want people to reach out to us and tell us what they hear. Yeah. We review evidence by committee. Derrick and Jack do most of it, and I sit in the wings and wait for them to find something, and then I help. But it's what we do. We put everything online.
That about 12 years ago, when I was with the first group, we did a bed and breakfast in Gettysburg too. I can tell you, she won't mind this Battlefield Bed and Breakfast. It's called.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to take a chance. She probably go. Her name is Florence. So we got some good stuff out there. Not a long time ago.
I just love the concept of a bed and breakfast. You get to sleep there and they make you breakfast. So
yeah,
like what you want.
What we did is we had a guest participate.
Okay.
And that was one of the things she wanted us to do, and it worked out good. So they had a lot of fun. We had a lot of stuff. So. Okay, here's your fuller picture.
Yeah, so this is another one of those. I mean, the thermal, it shows you pretty much everything. You can see the figure in the middle there with all the colors. I believe that was, again, Dan, posing for us. But behind him,
I
it
look
was to
pretty
his right.
in that picture.
It looks like the Indian dance up down.
So this, well, so this is actually back at the Wexford Antique store. In reference to Dan's comment earlier about finding something that had to do with the property, this is one of the key areas that we thought that was occurring. In this library, we believe that we came across a little girl, communicated with her. She was messing with a lot of our equipment. She was actually giving us some yes or no answers. And if you look back in that back corner where we actually heard a loud bang at one point, you can see that dark figure back there, and it didn't show up any other time with the thermal image. We tried to debunk it. We went back. I took a bunch of pictures side by sides, and there was nothing ever. We were not able to debunk that, let's say. And we just kind of pieced it together that because we were getting some communication with a young girl, that she may have shown up here through our thermal imaging.
And that one was really neat because one of the we had two mediums with us on this investigation, and one of them was familiar with with the area and with the family that used to own the property, and she took some of the stuff that we had captured that night in reference to this little girl that Derrick's talking about that we were interacting with. And she was asking the people that were part of the family if there was any truth to what she had told us, that she was sick and that she died in the street or at least out front nearby of an illness. And they actually confirmed that somebody in their line of family members fit the name and the age and the cause of death for the little girl that we were interacting with. And it was really neat validation of the evidence that we captured.
Wow. Got some good stuff, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Gazebo.
So this is behind the bed and breakfast in Gettysburg.
Okay. All right.
And we had a very we had a frightening investigation at this location. Yeah, no worries. We were getting very aggressive, validating information coming from our equipment to something that had happened that is a documented truth of something that happened on this property prior to it being a bed and breakfast, obviously back before actually the Battle of Gettysburg. Or no, it was after the Battle of Gettysburg. So this location is actually a little bit off the battlefield, but it does have some unique history to it from something that was fairly tragic that happened there. And we were actually heard what sounded like a child screaming out in the woods down over the hill from this location. If you look in that picture, the garage door in the back there, that's a large barn kind of structure. We heard this screaming like a banshee almost from down over the hill behind that. And when Derrick and the father of one of the people that was with us, Emma, they went to investigate to see what the heck was screaming in the woods. And Emma, who was the man's daughter, she just started crying hysterically because she's a sensitive or a medium. She's trying to develop what she is, but she started crying and screaming, "You guys need to come up here. There's something back there that he wants to hurt you," and this and that. And we captured this picture, and you can see very, very clearly it looks like a person standing there, right?
Yeah.
So obviously your source of light is off to the right, back behind the gazebo. There was another barn over there that had a spotlight that was shining down. But what's unique about this shadow is if there was somebody standing in front of the barn that was causing that shadow, you would see it on the ground. And you can see that you do not see it. It is not on the ground itself.
Right. Yeah.
It is only on the garage door. So we could not figure out where the heck that shadow figure came from.
Wow. Yeah. Huh.
Oh, do you have the video on this, Derek?
I know I do. I believe it was passed off, but I don't know exactly where it would be in the slideshow. I also believe that Jim used it in the video that he had sent.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know this is one of Dan's favorite captures because he reviewed that piece of evidence.
I did. I actually did something for once.
Which one is this? This one in the bedroom?
So this one is actually at a brewery north of Pittsburgh. It's about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh. It's called the North Country Brewery. The building itself, again, like everything else, has a very he puts everything on there. So this is a still shot of that video, and that video was rotated on its side. But what it shows is we had a trail cam set up in the bar upstairs, and about 2:30 in the morning, our trail cam picked this up, where the door itself swings open, and you can see that figure that is fairly ethereal. Like you can look right through it. There's no mask to it at all, but it looks like somebody wearing a hood or something steps up into that doorway where there is no step, but there used to be a step there. And you actually see the figure step up and walk through the door, and it closes behind it.
Is this it here?
He puts everything on there. Side, that's the right side up.
Is that?
He puts everything on there.
Was that the right one?
Yeah,
that is. I don't know what the voice is, and it is sideways, but that is the right one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He puts everything on there.
I think it's Dan from when he recorded it.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Well, no, that was a trail cam, so it wouldn't have happened then. It would have been. I think that was actually Dan.
But I think Dan recorded it on his phone.
Yeah, I think that's
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was that clip right
That's
there.
what I mean. Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. Okay. That's it. Evil.
Yeah, that looks fun, don't it?
Look at that weird face. The distorted face.
So
Yeah,
there's
looks
not
fun.
much known about this one. This is actually one of the residences that we had saged following the investigation. And this was actually pictured below the residence in an old... Dan, do you remember what the shop itself was?
It was an embroidery shop.
Hmm.
It wasn't anything scary.
No,
like
not at all. And
embroidery or something like
there
that.
was nothing tied to that to that building itself.
Not that we're aware of, at least.
Right. So the residence was actually above it, and we were just circling, taking some pictures. I believe this was on our walk back from getting wings. Naturally, we needed food.
It was.
But as I was looking through the camera, the footage, like right when we were trying to leave, I noticed this. So we went back to the front, and there's nothing there that would be reflecting it.
Right.
I knew that we tried to take a bunch of pictures, but clear as day, looks like a face. Like a Michael Myers mask almost, right?
Oh, yeah.
See, to me, I see like a cow skull with the horns coming out at the top almost.
Yeah.
Where that black curve section is.
Like a devil shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Someone should probably go to the embroidery shop and talk to them.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I think leave it to Jack to find the horns in the thing, because I think it's adorable, and then you have to point out that it's a demon. It's like,
I'm sorry. When I look at that, what I see is like the cow skull with you can even see almost, to me, it looks like the eye hole of the skull, and then right above it is like the one horn. I don't know, man. That's just what I see.
I see it now that you say it.
I'm sorry.
Look what you did.
Nightmares.
I'm good for that, I guess.
I actually really like hearing your opinion about some of our past stuff, things you weren't there for, because that gives us that unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beggars always saw demons, so why shouldn't you?
I don't want to see demons.
But first, you gotta entice them by taking your shirt off first.
Yeah. That's what I'll do next time.
Yes, yeah. Wow. I love this place. The investigator, I want to tour there, and the actual, we're going there for the Paratalk in May.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, that place is awesome. I got like a heart picture of that place.
So when this picture was taken, we weren't really experiencing anything aside from just the sensation that somebody was following us. We heard a lot of footsteps in that area. And as we were reviewing it, what actually caught my eye was the lights that look like eyes to the right. But I believe that we were able to figure out that was just an outside light source.
Yes, we did.
But the real thing then that we noticed was in the middle, that middle window, top left, there looks like, I don't know if you can zoom in on this one at all, but it looks like a misty figure, almost like with a skull face.
Mm-hmm.
We had no interaction with it when we were there, but the picture itself looks like it was just kind of there watching,
Yeah.
And that actually matched up with the sensations that we were feeling at the time.
Now, when you guys, was that glass discolored or anything? Because it almost looks like corrosion of the glass or something to me, but I can't really tell if the glass is in there or not.
So there, in this specific window, Jack, there was no glass.
No glass, nothing.
It was like you could see behind. There's like thin metal bars, and then metal bars on the front. Yeah, there was no glass in there.
Okay, no, that's just my take after just seeing it blind.
No, and that's if
there's no glass, because my initial thought was like, oh, the fog could have been the glass panel being like dirty or something. But yeah, if there's no glass there, that's pretty spooky.
my thought at first was actually like spider web, something
okay.
built up around that. But once you get close in on that, there's nothing like that there.
I mean, I worked with you guys personally. I believe the shit out of you. That's crazy.
Yeah, I should have separated out to zoom in.
Oh, no worries.
We had a little bit of everything there.
Prospect Place. We had a lot of fun. We're going back this year. I can't wait.
Yay.
That's over by you guys. That's in Ohio.
Yes, that's an hour for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna. When are we doing that, Derek? It's like June, I think, right?
Something like that. I can look it up if you need me to. But
no, we'll talk about it later. But
it's later this year. We're lined up to go back. But this was one of the first times that we were actually able to like stay overnight at a haunted location. That was incredible. And I believe that we actually have a few more things from there. But it was one of the people that was with us. They were just snapping some pictures, and we looked back, and there's a shadow in the mirror. Yeah. Not on the wall. There was nothing it bounced off of, nothing that reflected it. We spent some time in that room trying to figure out what that could have been, because we could not duplicate this.
We tried to debunk that for a long time, if I remember correctly.
Longer than we should have, probably.
And yes. we could not duplicate that. or anything close to it.
I like that Michael Jackson song, Man in Mirror.
Yeah,
Really? I love that song, by the way.
that was a good song.
I don't think that's what he's singing about, though.
This will give one fake out ectoplasm. More explain this one.
Yeah, so I threw this in just kind of as like a joke because when I saw it, it's so visually striking. All the blackboards were just like kind of oozing that black slime, and it was just like super visually striking. So you're immediately like, "Whoa, what the hell is this?"
Yeah.
We did debunk it. When you look at the patterning of the ooze, it matches to like the adhesive they would have used on the wall. So with like the water damage and stuff through the years, I think it's just a byproduct of the adhesive and time.
And this
still
was
looks
back to Post Town.
Yeah, this was Post Town. It was super fun just to like walk in though and have that like reaction to it immediately before you realize what the hell's going on.
I don't remember that one. What room was that in? Do you remember?
It wasn't the special needs room. Or no, I think it was. I think it was the special needs kids room. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. I still all tired in the bad teacher room.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We had a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one was like when we were doing. I think it was the original walkthrough, wasn't it? When you were in there and got that, Jack?
Yeah, because I saw that and I was immediately like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Just an example of not everything is paranormal.
Yeah, exactly. As I thought it was a fun inclusion because upon anybody seeing that immediately, you're going to think, "What the hell is that? I've never seen that before in my life."
Mm-hmm.
I bet you guys don't see that video. Of basketball. I got that video of basketball. If you want to see it.
Yeah.
Post Town. Yeah.
I was going to say full screen. Yeah.
Wow. How did you guys not jump?
Well, what happened? We were reading right there. Our cameras were set up, and the other guys were outside building stuff, and me and others down in the cafeteria at the where we set up the stars location that was all good at, and they put on a chair. I came back and said, "You got to do that ball." So we didn't leave here. They bullshit. Trying to call bullshit. And
yeah.
So Bill got his camera and brought that down. We rolled back. Like, oh my God, he caught that. So,
what was that ball sitting on before?
It was on the old wheelchair that they have there. Because they're pushing you out of there a lot that night. So we just have to sit there and throw the ball in it.
Can you play that again? Because it looks like it got some air on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It flies
it
up
looked like it
air.
got lifted. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say full screen. Yeah.
See, what gets me is that it goes almost halfway to qualification.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, something threw that with a little bit of force. That was a good catch.
That's a really good catch. Great job.
Look like you're trying to throw a basketball, Dan.
It was probably actually more accurate than I was doing.
Those basketballs aren't they're basketball. So when I saw that, it's
that's cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. So
no, Derrick was just making fun of me because I tried to play basketball while we were in there, and I was terrible. That was awful.
3 points drop.
Yeah.
Gotta get a little AirPod in that. Come on, Derek.
Yeah. So this one is one of my favorites. Derek and I, we haven't been since Jack's been on board with us, and I hope we get back there soon. A group that we met investigating years ago that we stay in touch with is Hidden Marietta out of Marietta, Ohio. They have an event that they put on several times a year on Blennerhassett Island that is in Parkersburg, West Virginia. It's on the Ohio River between Ohio and West Virginia. And this island is it's an island that there is.
I Hidden Marietta.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hi, Hidden Marietta. So we were on the island. This was the first time we were on the island before they figured out how awesome we were and invited us back. Derek and I were in the back behind the mansion, and we were actually trying to communicate. We were trying to get some communication from something back by the old the site of the old blockhouse that was behind the mansion. We weren't getting anything there, but all of a sudden the horses that are penned up in a field across this little gravel path that you can see in the picture. Off to the left-hand side, there's a stable and like a fenced-in area where the horses that are on the island all summer where they were staying. And this horse in the field started freaking out. Like it started like rearing back and like whinnying and going absolutely crazy. And we heard, you could see there's dry leaves on the ground. We heard something like clumping through the leaves to our left. And this is obviously not in the fenced in area. Derek had the wherewithal to just turn with a still frame camera with a flash and just took a picture of, the direction
Just
where
the area of the noise.
Yeah. And when we went back and reviewed it, we noticed this figure that again, whenever you guys can zoom in on it on our website or whatever, there's a very definite, approximately a 7.5, 8 foot tall figure with a full face. You can see eyes, you can see a formed mouth, the facial structure, and you can actually see the leg as well sticking out from behind the tree. And what the Hidden Marietta team had shared with us was that they believe those are Native American watcher spirits that were non-human entities that were left by Native Americans, because there is documented loss of life from Native Americans on the island, throughout history. And they believe that is one of the watchers that they leave behind to essentially watch over their past soldiers, or more or less. So it was a really cool catch for us, and I love this picture. And they were super jealous that we got it, and they tried to get it.
Oh,
I'm not saying we're better than they are, but it was our first time there, and we got the picture.
You just said it live on the show. It's out there now.
He's still mad you got it. What I think is interesting, because I've seen this one.
Yeah, that's not my fault.
What I think is interesting about this one, because I've seen this one and I've looked kind of zoomed in on it. It almost looks like it could be mistaken for the break in the tree line of the sky, but when you zoom in on it, the face is a different color. It's like a pale blue, does not match the background of the sky at all. So I find that another really compelling one, and that's super spooky. Like, spirits and ghosts are creepy enough as it is. We don't need some 7 foot tall motherfucker creeping off behind trees. Only time I've been scared, on an investigation, I would have been too, 100%. That would terrify me, especially when you're in the woods. There's no cover.
I gotta try something, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, I just hid behind Derek. I wasn't afraid because I was using him as a fleshy shield,
which I'm used to.
Yeah, it happens.
Hold on a second. I'll be zooming for you. Didn't want to risk the leave my mic. I'll start zooming in. Can you see it?
It's pretty grainy.
Yeah, we can see
It's slowly
something.
clearing up though. Yeah, there you go.
There he is.
Yeah, that's creepy as hell.
There he is.
It almost looks like you can make out his hair pulled back or
Looks
something.
like a mustache too.
Yeah,
beard.
like a beard or something. Yeah, yeah.
Ghosty.
Cut the ghost of the Sasquatch, guys. Good job.
There is a Sasquatch there.
There's one in New York too. We found it out.
Well, this one's just a wooden cutout, but
Up by Tuesday, we got like through the woods. Oh god, that's
I draw the line Bigfoot. I'm not going to go chasing after Bigfoot because that thing.
He found us. We didn't go chasing.
Yeah.
We think he was on the porch, rest over the quarters.
Jeez. Yeah.
I'll say that fall too. Is just it was like 3 minutes long of a howl in the woods. And we thought it was that mating season for a Sasquatch because like a big orgy going on or something. Because it was like
it might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to walk into that thing.
That's not what I heard about you, Derek.
Make a little Bigfoot babies.
I mean, that's probably a hell of a racket if you're the first one to get footage of that.
Yeah.
You could be a millionaire. It will be worth
I was going to say, you got a couple different lines of income after that.
It would be worth the awkwardness that would take to get that video.
There are sides. Oh no. I don't want. There you go. There's that. Cool. Here, I have the how they do the video separate out, so I'll have to here. I'll play a video for you. Here you go.
Yeah, so this one is at the Gill House in Ohio. You had mentioned that earlier.
Okay. Cool.
This was one of the first moments that I was just completely frozen in my tracks when I saw this. Like I saw it live.
Oh yeah, I'd be terrified.
Oh, peek that.
What kills me is when that second peak, it peaks enough so you can see like the solid color of it, and it's colder than everything else.
I'll play
That second peak, it shows more of its head, and you can see like the better color definition of how cold it is.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Yeah.
That's as cold as the floor.
It's much less scary whenever you say peekaboo with it. Like peekaboo, I see you.
Talk about peekaboo. Do you guys ever do ST sessions?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We started doing that within the last just before Jack got on board with us.
Yeah. We were doing it, and we speaking of Post Town, one of my best friends Don, who was in our group, his grandma had these dolls that she wanted more because she passed away. He got all this sick. Who got to a doll room? That's creepy enough as it is. But we would do SC sessions, and I don't know if you guys will see it or not when you're there, but we had the doll baby that we brought. His eyes were like this. See that one is like this? When you're there, a doll baby has eyes covered like this. Because we had him, and we put the headphones on as mask, and we had him do a SC session.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah. We like people off of lines too. All right, here's this one. I'll play this one.
Yeah, this is an audio, yeah.
I heard a little something they're talking. The big bang at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why it didn't come across, but on the video you can hear what sounds like somebody whistling walking down the hallway. It's before that loud bang. Like I said, I don't know why it didn't come across on that video, but you can very clearly hear it in the file that we have. It sounds like there's somebody walking past the doorway where we're sleeping, whistling, and then you hear that loud crack that, again, on the video it sounds like a gunshot, and then the whistling stops. So it was it was funny because
I'll play it again. I think I heard the whistle. I'll play it again. I can hear it rather sure. I have to have headphones. I can hear it faintly, so
it's not super loud, but yeah, I can't hear it from my end. I don't have headphones on, but yeah, I mean it's a cool video, and definitely couldn't explain that one. You notice none of us, that bang is fairly loud, and none of us react to it, which is, I'm a light sleeper. So I was surprised none of us reacted to that sound.
That brings back a little bit to first time we were there. That people were down. I was in bed teacher's room, and I was sitting there. I used to be quiet. Yeah, I'll talk a lot more time. I'll ask up questions. I was just quiet, and I heard bang, or like some banging on the locker, just something more loud. And I jumped. I was like, and Teresa's down there in the hall. She's talking. I'm not talking. No. She can talk. I hear people talking. I'm not talking. Well, somebody's talking. So they come down and they didn't hear bang or anything. It was so loud. And I picked it up on the recorder. It was freaking loud.
We had some weird things like that happen too, where we were in the basement actually and we heard a loud bang. The group upstairs didn't hear it, and nothing. It wasn't captured on anything, video, recorder, nothing. That was a weird one for us.
Yeah. It's amazing pretty up stuff. I love doing do EP.
Yeah.
I love doing that stuff. I can do it for hours. All right, here's one. I think I have the.
Yeah, that's that video of the doorway again.
Okay. All right. All right. So
yeah, you can skip past that one for a second.
All right, here's the one that I got. The shower.
That's definitely that's a blink and you miss it kind of moment.
Yeah, I would do again.
The pixelation doesn't do it a lot of justice. Yeah, on the original capture, you see it way more defined.
Does it come from the right to left?
Yeah, it just comes right out from behind the white wall on the left. And it goes like almost like a two pump motion, and then it goes away.
I'll stop. Okay. Awesome. Hey. We're down to a slideshow.
I thought it was the best slideshow I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Go. You guys want before we wrap it up, you guys want discuss what our side we're going to try to go, but other places you guys want to go? Look on your bucket list.
Trying to think. I can't say I have any immediately in mind,
Right.
but it's because I'm new. So there's like plenty of places I just don't know about yet.
What is that about? Like best locations for stuff?
Like
Well,
where
yeah.
would you want to go?
Or we don't want to go, and I guess all depends how far you drive.
Yeah. So we have many locations that we would love to get.
There's
to
a long list.
Point. One of the ones that I would love to get to in the near future is Waverly Hills Sanitarium. I would love to get down there because there's talk about like remodeling that place and making it into something else, and I would love to investigate down there before they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
think
I
for
heard
me-
that too. I could do it too, but like this, I heard about you modeling too. It's like, well, it might start up activity if we never know.
I think for me is actually one that we've been trying to line up for a while, and that's Lake Shawnee,
Yeah.
down in West Virginia, the haunted, abandoned amusement park.
Oh,
But that's again a hike for us. But I think that's
Right.
definitely on.
where was that at?
It's West Virginia. Do you
It's
remember?
it's like the southern end of West Virginia. It's about 5 hours from Pittsburgh, I know. I'm going to look it up real quick because I don't remember exactly. Oh, it's in Rock, West Virginia,
Oh, okay.
wherever that is.
Like a rock.
Like a rock. So it's about, like I said, it's
Solid
about
as a rock.
5 hours from Pittsburgh. It looks like it's. I'm trying to look on a map right now. It's pretty far down there.
Yeah, no, I'm looking down there too.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's-
almost into Virginia. It's like right on the border of West Virginia and Virginia, directly south of Pittsburgh.
That one's been on our list for a while, I think. And
I heard about it before, and like,
Yeah, I think that one would be really cool.
what where do you guys see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, it sounds like a job interview.
Oh, I know. Like throughout the years, like every year, then we see the equipment come out, people try or new methods.
Yeah, and I mean personally, in 5 years, I see us relying less on purchasing equipment. We're trying to get into building our own equipment and trying to experiment with readily available electronics and try to see if there's another way that we can, come up with some device or something to interact with things. Again, we're like we can build REM pods very easily.
Yeah.
We can build EM pumps very easily, but I think that like we have a fairly strong desire to try to like leverage electronics to try to come up with a new way of communicating. I think that's if we could be there in 5 years, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I think innovating new ways of getting evidence or getting any kind of like feasible, tangible thing has been something that we've been talking about most of this year already.
Yeah.
Just the general consensus.
Try to do a lot of research myself for any stuff out there. I keep looking for it. Like, my friend Bill, he builds a lot of his own stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
He had a 3D printer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he built me a music box.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's cool. Plays the eerie music. When it plays like real scary, but right now it has a chicken dance on it.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It has the like USB connection to it, so you can pull out sound.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's got the the white sensor in front of it, it can pick up like 12 feet across the room.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, he builds all the stuff. Yeah, call it Bill. He's not within our group now, but since we are at different states, so he found it. We're a good group in PA.
Bill's a good
Oh,
friend
okay.
to have.
Yeah, I think he's with Harrisburg. I think so.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. Yeah, Bill. Be like Bill. Yeah, we do. I'm not sure if it was doing more with us or not. For being honest, we're going to probably find our groups to go with. So, what you know, I mean, next time you guys are in Ohio,
Yeah.
I'll get the fire museum.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll stay in touch for sure. And we appreciate you guys having us on.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I had a blast. Like I said, I told Battle before, so we just had like some what they call TV celebs and stuff, and
Yeah.
I like to get a lot of things run of mill, but I like to have groups that are actually not if you get famous, fine, that's what you do, but I like how I groups on too, talk about their experiences and stuff because I just find friends today, and we can tell about our stuff, your stuff, and it makes so good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
sure.
the difference. That's the difference between people on TV and people like us and you guys. Like you guys aren't trying to make money doing this kind of stuff. So it's not up to us. It's not our game to fake evidence to make a show out of it.
Right.
So we are showing you, we are trying to show people, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to be as scientific as we possibly can, right? I mean, obviously there's who knows if it's science or if it's witchcraft or who knows what any of it is, but we are like all of us, yourselves included, like you have no horse in the game to find things. You're just showing what you find.
Right.
It's up for the interpretation of whoever views that or whoever listens to that. So the evidence that we capture is more genuine. This is what was captured. We don't have all the spooky noises in the background and the people screaming and all that kind of stuff.
Now,
we have no problem saying if we didn't catch anything.
Honestly, we approached a couple times on Discovery Channel. Wait for it back many years ago, and they had a thing to show what the contact looked like, and like anything that we caught would be it would be their property.
Okay.
After that, now we don't probably do that. And we thought if we're ever going to do a show like that, we're not going to walk investigations, but we're might come back and say, well, we don't have anything. We didn't want that to include in the show too, and not every time we catch something. And that's what they do on TV. They won't show you a show unless they find something like and that to me, it's not even worth to get into.
No.
For that, I mean, no. And then, like the first group I was at, they actually did get on, my good story or something, for one of the bars we did one time, and they ended up using evidence I had for it, and besides that, it's the only reason I turned down now because they give our with it once they have it.
Right.
So. I'll find just going out myself and Mel, poker faces. We're gonna do something very soon coming up. And she'll be dragging my ass to something. Sorry. Come on, Scott, you lazy ass, get up. She's sweet. She'll figure it out.
Well, thank you guys for having us on.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love how you're doing. And like I said, we will get back with you again and have you back on. So
yeah, absolutely. Just give us a shout anytime you have some spaces available and want to chat. Just let us know.
Sure,
for sure.
You bet. Well, until next time. thanks, guys, again.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
hunting for your happy hunting.
Bye bye.
Bye.